Xiaomi has been on a roll ever since its return to the Philippine market, launching good devices at very competitive prices. The Redmi Note 5 certainly falls under that category. Is it the phone to beat in the mid-range segment? Hey guys, Joey here, and this is our full review of the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5. Right off the bat, the Redmi Note 5 looks pretty clean. It's got that 18:9 aspect ratio, thin bezels, and Gorilla Glass front. And the back just looks so fresh in that light blue color. And we can see that it has its dual cameras in the vertical orientation, and the phone has pretty much all of the common trademarks we see in phones these days, with of course the exception of the notch. It's a decently hefty phone, but it's worth mentioning that it's still quite thin considering it has a 4000 mAh battery. The power and volume buttons on the right have a nice clicky feel, and the sides and corners are nicely curved, making it nice to hold. On the other side, we have a SIM tray with a hybrid setup, which is minus points for Xiaomi considering that their competitors have a dedicated slot for a micro SD card. Finally, down below, the usual microphone and speaker, a headphone jack, and a micro USB port. Well, all I can say about this is, come on, when will mid-range phones ever adopt Type-C? The Redmi Note 5 has a 5.99-inch IPS screen running at 2160 by 1080, which is a good resolution for this big of a display. It's actually a pretty nice display. Text and pictures appear sharp, colors are pretty nice, and viewing angles are good. It's also bright enough to use outside. Now you are able to adjust the screen settings to your liking, specifically for color and contrast. You can pick warm, standard, or cool for colors, and for contrast it has standard and increased modes, but it also has automatic, which changes depending on the ambient lighting situation. The phone runs MIUI 9.5, which is based on Android 8.1 Oreo. It's the global version, so you're still getting the full Google package, including the Play Store. The default interface is clean and simple, though lacks an app drawer. You can navigate with the on-screen buttons, but gestures are available if you want. Because of the big display, split screen is awesome with this phone. You also get other cool built-in features like a system cleaner, also second space, which can be used to have separate workspaces for personal and work use, or if you're sharing the phone with someone else. There's also Mi Drop for wireless file sharing, and Mi Remote to assert dominance over your TV. The system files don't take a ridiculous amount of space, and from the 64GB out of the box, you're left with 50.44, which isn't bad. Now on to the cameras. The Redmi Note 5 uses a dual setup at the back with a 12MP primary and 5MP secondary. For selfies, it's a 13MP sensor. Let's talk about the rear cameras first. Aside from auto, it has HDR, Beautify, Panorama, Portrait, Manual, and Handheld Twilight, which kinda works like HDR, but for low light, allowing you to get cleaner photos. Quality for pictures is good, especially for this price point. There's plenty of detail with vibrant colors, but the autofocus is by far the most impressive part as it's quite accurate and fast. Low light is subpar right off the bat, but the handheld twilight mode really helps a lot. Videos are also pretty great, and it's really nice to have built-in stabilization, but it's a bummer that resolution maxes out at 1080p. 4K would have been a nice cherry on top. As for selfies, it really works best when there's plenty of light. The beauty mode focuses on smoothing out the wrinkles on your face, but you'll have to do this manually, unlike Oppo and Vivo phones that can do it automatically with AI. The depth effect looks very artificial, but you can still get some decent results if you have the right distance between subject and background. Low light selfies aren't as good, and the front-facing LED doesn't really help that much. Now moving to performance. The Redmi Note 5 is powered by a Snapdragon 636 chipset, Adreno 509 GPU, and 4GB of RAM, which is actually the same config as the Asus Zenfone 5. General performance and multitasking are smooth, and games like PUBG Mobile and Tekken are handled with ease. Our synthetic benchmarks also yielded good scores, though it's interesting that the Zenfone 5 has a better Antutu score, despite having the same hardware as the Redmi Note 5. During heavy load, the device surprisingly doesn't get too hot thanks to a dual graphene sheet inside that helps handle temperature. For connectivity, the Redmi Note 5 has all you need with 4G LTE, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, and GPS. They all work well, calls are clear, mobile data is fast, and the GPS has us cruising easy when using navigation apps. Lastly, battery life. The 4000 mAh battery is great as it got us through more than one day with moderate usage. Our video loop test got us a very impressive 23 hours of non-stop playback. There is fast charging which takes 2.5 hours from empty to full, which sounds like a long time, but is actually appropriate given the big capacity of the battery. Now time to wrap it up. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 offers good mid-range specs, like the nice big screen, solid internals, good cameras, great battery life, and premium build, all at the amazing price of only 11,990 pesos. We can't really call it the best mid-range smartphone on the market right now, but it will surely get you the most bang for your buck. That's all for now. If you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more videos, and hit the bell icon to be notified of our future uploads. This has been Joey of YugaTech, and I'll see you guys soon.